some of us have not lost anything in terms of life and properties. But Lord, our heart is bleeding for the others. And so we ask you, Lord, that you will make a way. We ask you to make a way, Lord, because we realize that relief are coming in from left, right, and center. But yet we are getting complaints of people not getting the relief. And so we ask you, Lord, that you will lead those who are in charge, and it will go to the right persons. Father, into your hands, Lord, we commit our spirit. Into your hands we commit, oh God, the spirit of the people in Clarinda, the people in St. Elizabeth, the people in Westmoreland, the people in Hanover, St. James, Manchester, and all the other parishes that have been affected. Lord, I pray that you will give us a spirit and a heart of giving. And not only give to the people down in St. Elizabeth and in Hanover and all over, but Lord, we recognize that even our very neighbor that is living next to us are in need, but yet we look down to the west to help. We ask you, Lord, that you will give us a heart that we can call upon our neighbor, we can give to our neighbor, and by doing that, then we will be doing your will. Lead us down, great Jehovah, from victory unto victory. We know we are a people of resilience, and we will rise. We will ride out this storm. Lord, even down in content where the water is rising, we know that people down there are desperate, and we ask you, Lord, that you will intervene. Oh God, we recognize that Jamaica is in problem. But Lord, we present it to you because you are the Alpha and the Omega. You are the beginning and the end. You are the first and the last. So we present Jamaica to you at this time. We present the leadership of this country into your hands. We ask you, Lord, even as a council, the councillors, the ones that are the first responders, oh God, in every situation. Even now, Lord, I present every division in Manchester into your hands, every councillor, and oh God, the mayor who stand at the helm of it, Lord. We ask you that you will lead him in a very special way. We ask you, oh God, that every department that has anything to do with the hurricane, we ask you that you will give them strength and give them wisdom as we try to rebuild, oh God, from strength to strength. We pray, Almighty God, that you will get all the glory and all the praise at the end of it all. And Father, we pray again for Jamaica land we love. Oh God, out of many one people. And so every individual, whether you're black or white or Rastafarian or any other, we present them to you because they are Jamaican first. And so, oh God, we pray this morning that as we leave here, then we will leave stronger. We will leave in a better spirit. And whatever will be done and said today, oh God, it will help us as individuals, it will help us as a country, it will help us, oh God, as a division, and it will help us as a community. We ask you, Lord, that you will take fully control. Lead us and direct us as we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. National anthem, please.
Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil parts. Be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defender, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love. Teach us true respect for all. Stir response to duty's call. Strengthen us the weak to cherish Give us vision lest we perish. Knowledge send us, Heavenly Father, grant you wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever, Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love. Thank you. You may be seated. Once again, let me welcome you all to this meeting of the Manchester Municipal Corporation, our general meeting, and hope that we will have a fruitful discussions this morning. But let me state on the records that this morning is not grandstanding morning. We will follow the standing orders. If you have a matter to raise as a question, put all your questions together. I don't want one person to be standing and asking for leverage to speak on a matter 2, 3, 4 times. We need to do the work of the parish and to get out there and to see how best we can assist our communities and to see what else is happening, because there are rising waters all over the parishes and we need to know how and where and all of that to take place. And so this morning I'm making my warning, right? I think I need a mic like the one in Parliament that I can cut off some persons when they're talking too much, right, Councillor Miller? Right, but we will allow you. This morning I'd asked the Jamaica Public Service representative to at least appear for a few minutes to answer questions that may arise from Melissa, but they say they'll try to see what happens. So we are still awaiting them to come to give us some answers. I know we have questions, we have concerns, we have all different quality things, but let me tell you, we are fortunate on this side of the island. I happened to have gone down into Westmoreland on Sunday, and I would not want to have been a resident in Westmoreland at this time, because no one can help the other. And so we continue to pray for them, but faith without works is dead. So while we pray, Councillor Miller, we look at our salaries and to see if we can give a part to to our family. I mean, they don't have no pots or pans or anything, so bringing the amount of food that we are all taking down to them without no pots and pans and nowhere to cook is becoming meaningless, right? So we need to try to see how best we can get families, adopt a family, adopt a friend that is from that side and help them to get back on their feet, right? And so with that, I want to welcome you all here this morning. There's some other matters I'll speak to at another time in the minutes, for, so that we can get out here early. But councillors, please be reminded that we are not going to be providing lunch, so you better make sure that we're out of here before it's lunchtime. All right, thank you very much. We are now at item number 3, apologies for absence. No.
Chairman.
Oh, sorry, madam, please be seated. Please be seated. You know, because we have been working so closely for the last 3 weeks or so. It becomes norm that I still have, it is my CEO that I used to. So ladies and gentlemen, councillors, officers, visitors, our new acting CEO, Ms. Tomoy Sinclair. She comes to us from Trelawney, and one of the good thing about it is that she has been working from she come there, you know. Last year, Mr. Harrison came, and as he came, it was a something, and I mean, Miss Tomoy Sinclair came, and it was a hurricane, and it's not because we don't live anywhere. She was here right throughout the hurricane, making sure things are happening. Because in her training as a disaster preparedness coordinator from elsewhere, she knew some of the things to be done, so she was here helping us. So at this time, please meet Ms. Tomoy Sinclair, our new acting CEO, and welcome her to Manchester. We are miserable at times, but you will understand us as the days go by. Thank you very much. You may now rise, ma'am, to give us the apologies.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning. It's my pleasure being here, but I am apologizing for the parish disaster coordinator, Mr. Kevin Lewis. He's not well. I'm so sorry. Also, Mr. Chen, the Director of Administration, he's representing the corporation at the Office of the Services Commission on a matter, and Mr. Brown from MIS office. He's unavoidably absent.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Any other apologies? No, okay. So we go to confirmation of the minutes. But before confirmation, can we take corrections? And I am sure a number of us have not yet gone through our minutes, because I saw a lot of them in the box this morning. So we will go through with those we have, and those we find during the thing there, we'll just take them and as listed, and then the corrections will be made. But we start on page 1. Page 2. Page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. The motion is in order. I don't understand. I see persons going up and putting up their hand. They're asking excuse from classes. Go ahead, you have a new CEO, we want her to know that we know the business, but they're lazy sometimes. May I have the motion for the confirmation of the minutes? Seconded by Councilor Martin Baker. All in favor? Any against? All right, we move now to matters arising on page 1, page 2,
Matter arising request for new street light from Ministry of Local Government. The request was submitted. However, there is no response for the 2 outstanding divisions, as for Royal Flat and Craig Head. There has also been attempts to contact another officer from within the ministry this morning to get an update, but still none, sir.
Okay, thank you. Construction of indigent house in Porus. Soup, you want to just give us a little update?
Chairman, members, morning.
Morning.
Just to report, Mr. Chairman, that despite the impact of the hurricane, Mr. Chairman, we still managed to continue the works on the project. Presently, we are about 45% complete, Mr. Chairman. We are still, Chairman, pressed to meet the deadline to have the project complete ahead of the Christmas period.
Okay. All right, thank you. Last month we were at 2%, this month we're at 45%. I'm sure by the end of the month, into the second week of December, we should be at 110%. All right, thank you, sir. Page 3.
Installation of clock for the meeting room. The clock was ordered and we are awaiting pickup of same.
Okay. Any other matter on page 3?
Pictures for the former local government minister. And an amended quotation was requested from the procurement officer, so we can continue on this matter. It wasn't moved.
Okay.
So we have restarted that request.
All right. Letter to National Works Agency. Acting chief, that meeting was sent. I'm going to ask Secretary that we put a little more meat on this, because I think for some persons they don't know what we're talking about here. They only see the letter to National Works Agency just to say what it is about. All right? No, we're marking up a return. Okay, good. All mayors except one met with the minister on Tuesday. He called us into an emergency meeting, and one of the matters that were discussed is a matter of the National Works Agency's rep at our infrastructure and traffic meeting. He says he'll be meeting with Minister Morgan to have that discussion, and he will advise us what the results are. Yes, sir?
The lineage of the work agency, a little bit separate but similar to the work agency. When the situation in content...
No, hold on. I'm not mixing up record. Raise the matter afterwards. Okay, you will have chance. We're going to discuss all of Melissa today, everything, but we don't want to mix up this matter in there, but we raise it in that one there. All right, page 4. They start marking it? Okay. My understanding is that there's some markings being done on the highway. They may not have, this could have started just before the hurricane, but they'll continue. Page 4. 5, 6, 7, 7 still haven't heard anything about Jaden, eh? 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, because the hurricane came, we were supposed to have a meeting with the superintendent and the parties. We have not had that meeting, but we will try to look at it in January. This month would not be, next month would not be possible, because it's the Christmas time and all that. So we are going to be having that discussion as early as the year starts. Page 10, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, yeah. Mr. Miller, how was your thing there, sir? On page 14, how was the football thing? And your fear?
It was good, sir.
Okay,
Well
good.
attended. Still have a few outstanding buildings.
What a problem I get myself into. I'm sure the other matters, the funeral service for Mr. McGill was held. I know I went to the one for Barrington Clark in St. Anne, and I know members of the team also went to Miss Caradis in Porus. And there was another one? Okay. All right. Any other matter on page 14, 15? 16? No, hold on. World Homeless Day. Council Knight, how are we with that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the 10th of October, right, we had World Homeless Day and World Mental Health Day at the Cecil Charlton Park in the Greens. It was well attended, Mr. Chairman. We have seen a lot of agencies came on board to help us, and we were able to also involve Candle in the Dark, where they do a day spa for the homeless. They cut their hair, give them some clean clothes, and treat them to some nice things. And some councillors were in attendance, thanks to those who were in attendance. And we have guest speaker, Mr. Chairman, and we have, what else? We have Ebenezer Home also was in participation also, with bunny eating contests and all those kind of things.
Wow.
But one of the things I have a concern, Mr. Chairman, in terms of the homeless, what I've found out is that those persons who are supposed to benefit from this kind of a program, we can't find it. Because we can't find the homeless to come and sit down and to listen and to participate. Right? So we find people on the street participating, and we still cannot find the homeless. And this brought into our attention, Mr. Chairman, of the drop-in center, because we don't have that in the parish. Then we are at a disadvantage end where we cannot have our homeless in one place. And so we had called on the Ministry of Local Government for the permission to be granted for us to take over the Candle in the Dark. And up until now, we haven't heard anything from the ministry. And so if we could get the ministry giving us the permission, then we could really have a better World Homeless Day where we have our people in one area. So that is our concern.
All right, thank you, Councillor Knight. We got a correspondence from the ministry asking us for some information re the Candle in the Dark premises. So indeed, they have responded, but because we have to send them some additional information for them to respond to us fully. But it is receiving the attention of the minister and the PS at this time. So as soon as we send them, they need to, there's a MOU that we had looked at. They are asking for a copy of the MOU and some other documents so that we can do. So we're working assiduously on that matter. All right? Councillor Mitchell.
The matter that Councillor Knight just mentioned, was a nice thing, but I would love at a convenient time to have some information about it, similar to the fact that I know we have the infirmary and I know we have funding issues. So please, I would like to be updated as soon as it is confirmed.
Well, the council will be updated because it's a matter for the council to take a vote on. So the council will be updated and we will circulate the information. Yeah, and just simply, in all parishes, or most parishes, there's a drop-in center that homeless persons can go have a shower, have a meal. They do get counseling from time to time, and so that we were looking to establish that. The property that we were looking at, or that we were asked to look at, was not available. And because Canada Dark is already there, with beds and space and all the amenities, from the Poor Leaf Committee and the Homelessness Committee, they have started the discussion, and so it will go over into the full council for the input of the councillors. Go ahead.
Thank you, Sir Chair. One concern I have, sir, is that like in the Grovetown division, say you have 2 or 1 homeless persons or person, what I would like in your discussion or in our discussion, we think about the other persons who cannot reach Mandeville.
Okay. And I know it's the same problem in other divisions in terms of Christian and all that, but we want to start in the center of the town and spread our wings. We don't want to start everywhere at the same time. Yes. And I don't know, it seems like they keep calling each other and tell them, come to Mandeville, it's a nice place. They tell them that KFC is being served there regular, you know, so. Okay, page 16. Page 17. Well, may I declare a matter? Yes, sir. You are asking us to recommit to page 5?
Yes, under credit last money, the remiss of means don't ask. They can, as a matter of action item, can be asked the new unit, the agricultural protection branch of the DSH, and they be at the next commercial services meeting. It is important. This week there were cows, many cows, and other animals stolen from the Canada classified, but the Belgian division is severely affected, and the police will have interviewed that matter for us. So we're having some issues over that we need to be.
So they're taking the cows from Belfield?
Yes.
Okay. So the brown cows are from Belfield?
Yes.
Okay. I won't repeat what Councillor Miller says. But may I declare matters arising closed and we go to the reports from agencies. I'll take the fire first and then SDC. I don't see the other agencies here. Thank you very much, Mr. Needham. And for those of you who don't know, you're actually in Mr. Needham's bedroom. Mr. Needham slept here right throughout the hurricane. As a matter of fact, I think he spent about 4 days here, yes, right, just to make sure things are okay in the parish. So go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Your Worship. Your Worship, the Chair, officers of the Municipal Corporation, other councillors, my other agencies, government, media, good morning. I sat here earlier and I looked around the hall and I'm saying how this place has transformed somewhat. Yes, for me it was our sleeping place during the onslaught of Melissa. And I must pause to say welcome to our new acting CEO. She was here with us throughout the period. It started Saturday, the 25th, and it continued throughout until Wednesday, the 29th, we were here. It was not a very, I would say, interesting moment, but it was a time when we see how agencies come together, support each other to support the population of Manchester and the wider Jamaica. I must also pause to extend condolences to all the families who have lost loved ones during the passing of Hurricane Melissa. It is sad and heartrending when I heard the news that over 40 persons have lost their lives. But nonetheless, we are a strong people and we just continue to support our relatives, our friends, our neighbors, to help and to encourage and to, ignite that spirit of resilience that we all can be a part of and watch the growth. I always mention that the Jamaica Fire Brigade is also a part of your community. Yes, we are brave. Yes, we face adversity. We run to danger when you're running away. But face the fact, we are still a part of that community which we serve. I must inform this council that my team, which comprises of persons from Manchester, Trelawney, Clarendon, and the affected area, St. Elizabeth, have been adversely affected as well. After the onslaught, many of my team were not heard from, and so I had to send teams out to do investigation. Well, in the early stage, we had to retreat because we could not go through. But then after, we found them, some were marooned, and especially in that side, and at the border of St. Elizabeth in Mile Gully and near Oxford, there are some members who have lost their roof, and they're also mourning at this time. But suffice it to say, all my members have been accounted for. We have not lost anyone, and though they come to work and continue to serve under this grave situation, but they too are trying to put the pieces together. So yes, the work goes on, but it is very challenging for us and for others out there. Allow me, sir, to inform this Honorable House that Assistant Superintendent Morgan, who left us in September 9th, his funeral is now planned for the 22nd of November, 11 a.m. at First Assembled Church of God, Newley Road. That's 5 Newley Road. The interment will be at his family home in Belfield, Tap Belfield, that is. I think I said a mouthful.
Yes.
I now look to my report. Report for the Manchester Fire Department for the period October 1 to 31st. The division responded to a total of 71 emergencies for this period. When compared to the month of September, there were 65, which is an increase of 9.23%. A breakdown of the response are as follows. For genuine calls, 22 when compared to 42 in September. Malicious false alarm, 8 when compared to 4 September. False alarm with good intent, 1 when compared to 3 for September. Special service calls, 32 when compared to 12 in September. And I must pause to advise that special service call comprises all calls which is not fire related. So all the
Melissa problems and things.
The rescue, the flooding, and all of these things are correlated within this number. Motor vehicle accidents, we have 8 when compared to 4 in September 2025. I must also mention that the calls that are of great significance, which are outlined, are as follows. On the 8th of October, we responded to a shop fire at Thompson Town, Trelawney. One medium jet was used to extinguish this blaze. Loss as a result of this fire amounted to $550,000, whilst the risk is $2.5 million. The cause of this fire is undetermined. On the 9th, we again responded to a one-bedroom of an 8-room dwelling, and this was in Wollaston, Christiana. One medium jet was used to extinguish this blaze. Loss was $200,000, while the risk was $75 million. The cause of this fire is undetermined. No one was left homeless at this point. On the 9th, we also responded to a one-room dwelling at Newport, Manchester. One medium jet was used to extinguish this blaze. Loss as a result of this fire amounted to $1 million, while the risk $4 million. One adult was rendered homeless as a result of this fire. The cause of this fire is undetermined. On the 11th of October, we responded to a 3-apartment dwelling house at Olive River, Trelawney. One medium jet was used to extinguish this blaze. Loss as a result of this fire amounted to $500,000, while the risk $7 million. One adult was rendered homeless. The cause is also undetermined. On the 21st, we responded to a motor vehicle fire at Canewood. One medium jet was used to extinguish this fire. This was a total loss, $500,000 risk, and the loss the same. The cause of this fire, suspected arson. On the 22nd, we again responded to a 4-room dwelling house at Love Lane, Grove Place, Manchester. 4 jets were used to attack this blaze. Loss as a result of this fire amounted to $2 million, while the risk $10 million. One adult was rendered homeless. The cause is undetermined. This one gave me a scare. On the 30th of October, we responded to a call of fire at Hargreaves Hospital just near Bayou, but when I reached here, I had a sigh of relief. It was only the laundry and a storeroom that was involved in a fire. One medium jet was used to extinguish this blaze. The loss as a result of this fire amounted to $1 million, while the risk $10 million. The origin or the cause is undetermined.
I don't know. My thing is telling me the risk, the loss is 100 million I'm seeing here.
Oh.
And the risk is 1 billion. I don't know.
Okay, yes, let me look back at my document. This was prepared after, yes. Hargreaves, yes, 100 million and 1 billion there. So that's correction. Okay. Synopsis from my secretary. Sorry for the error.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. During the period, we had 3 persons who was rendered homeless as a result of fires. I must also mention that the fire and public education section of the fire brigade continue to do public education on fires and life safety. There was a pause at the period of the hurricane. Right now there is recovery going on where we are doing some assessment, but yes, we are still out there doing the work. Also, to promote fire safety standard included code compliance, plan review, hydrant maintenance, public education and enforcement. The activity compares to October are shown overleaf, and I'll just speak to a few. For in the compliance, we did 29 rather when compared to 52 in September 2025. For plan review, building plans that were approved, 8 when compared to 15 in September. Subdivision plans, 8 when compared to 6 for the previous month. Hydrants, well, let me go back to building plans rejected. We had 2. For hydrants, we inspected 13, we serviced 6, and recommendations were made for 20. Under education, we conducted 16 lectures, 7 fire drills, emergency drills were conducted when compared to 8 in September. And safety monitors training, we had 3. There were none for September. And public education continue, where we had 600 interaction when compared to 1,000 in September. Building enforcement, when we look for building certification, 13 were done when compared to 19 for September. The Jamaica Fire Brigade continue to work to look about the safety of the citizens and to encourage persons to put safety measures in place that they can be safe. I want to implore the citizens that the Fire Brigade, yes, is working for you, but we are stationed in Mandeville and one station in Christiana. Hence, the time to get to some of the remote areas takes time, and fires don't wait. Therefore, we are encouraging the population to put measures in place to minimize the risk, so that when we get there, your damage or defects will not be that severe. I pause also to advise the Municipal Corporation that as we stand here, we have all our units up and running. We have 4 trucks, which is a strain on my resource. That's the human resource. We have 2 pumpers, a rescue tender, and a water tender. And also a command vehicle, otherwise a pickup. So we have 5 operating equipment at this point in time at the council. And we continue to work and serve. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions for the fire? I think we have gotten enough. And very, very comprehensive. I want to thank you, sir, for your report. And we pray that your officers will continue to do their work. For those that have lost anything in Melissa, we pray that they will recover easily. And if there's anything that we can do from this side, please let us know. If it's even to talk to the minister to say, Minister, they need little help because they did well in the hurricane. So we'll see what can happen. Did I see your hand, Councillor? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just one question to the fire department. I'm almost sure the fire department was called to retrieve a body from a tank around the Marshall Crescent area. Any update on that, sir?
That would be in the November's report. Go ahead, Mr. Nida.
Yes. Thank you for your question, sir. Yes, that would have been for this month. So it would have been captured in the October's report.
All right, thank you. We'll now ask STC. And following STC, I'm going to ask my acting CEO to just give us a summary update of what the Disaster Preparedness Committee Emergency Center did while during hurricane, so that all of us can be on board. And after which, I'm going to be opening up the floor for councillors who wish to speak on Melissa in their division. And I'm restricting you to 15 times 2 is half an hour, to 2 minutes each. So please coin what you're going to say, no preamble. Just tell us what it is, and then we can get out of here early. All right? All right. Go ahead, SCC.
Your Worship, the Mayor, councillors, members from the municipality, agency rep, other members, media, morning everyone. For the month of October, the SDC took part with the homeless survey that was carried out by the Board of Supervision. So we were instrumental in developing the tool that was used for that. Immediately after that, we went into appraisals for staff and also to complete the operational plan for the parish, which was due on the 23rd of October. After that, we participated in the World Homeless Day. We had some items that were given to us from Food for the Poor for summer camp. So the leftovers, we gave them to Candle in the Dark on World Homeless Day. Then came Hurricane Melissa. We had a staff member who was here with the team. Mr. Brian Clark was here for the 4 days while they were here. Currently, our staff are on the road doing assessments. I should just say we had some safety meetings with the fire department within communities. However, based on the hurricane, we had to reschedule, and we are hoping that in time to come we will do those. So for the time being, what we're doing is just doing assessments in the communities. Thank you.
All right, that was a very short one, and I want to thank you, ma'am, because we were able to get some on-time reports coming from the SDC and what is happening. And please note, the SDC is not allowed to give out packages. They are there for assessment. So I want us not to bombard them with saying that, boy, some people don't necessarily never get X or Y. They're really there for assessment, and the minister reiterated that on Tuesday, that they are not the agency for that sort of thing. All right? Madam.
Good morning, everyone. All right. So as it relates to the corporation support for Hurricane Melissa, so the municipality would have started with having an emergency meeting of the Parish Disaster Committee on the 21st of October, and it was determined that the Parish Emergency Operations Center would have full activation on the 25th of October. So while the Operations Center was activated, we had several agencies that remained stationed here throughout the hurricane. We had the Jamaica Fire Brigade, the Jamaica Defense Force, the Social Development Commission, Ministry of Labor and Social Security, Ministry of Health, and we had several municipal officers from the various departments. We also ensured that we had pre-positioning of items that were sent to the emergency shelters through the Parish Disaster Coordinator, and of course with the assistance of the Health and Welfare Subcommittee of this Parish Disaster Committee. So several items were taken to various shelters. We also focused on the homeless, and they were stationed at Mandeville High.
Mandeville Primary.
Mandeville Primary, thank you for the correction. To support them, however, we ensured that we had the psychiatric nurses aid, 2 psychiatric nurses aid from the infirmary, supported by 2 municipal police who remained stationed with the persons at the homeless shelter, and they were supported and provided with meal throughout the entire duration. But as it relates to parish impact overall, we had, at the peak of Hurricane Melissa, we had approximately 235 residents in the parish of Manchester that were in emergency shelters. We had a total of 28 shelters that were reported to be fully activated. However, 24 of those shelters are closed and only 4 shelters remain open to date. Those 4 shelters Marley Hill Primary, who currently have 8 adult males. We also have another shelter that is activated, that is Christiana High, who still have 5 males, one of which is bedridden and is being monitored by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. The third shelter, Ellen Street Community Center, has 1 family, a mother and her 5 children, but it's a total of 7 persons. And in content at the community center, there are 2 males that are staying there. They don't usually stay in the daytime, but they occupy the facility at night. In terms of municipal impact, there were several of our municipal buildings that were impacted. We have, of course, damage to the Christiana Market. We had some damage to the roof. Mandeville Market, damage to the roof. Mile Gully Poor Relief Office, damaged roof. Christiana Abattoir, damaged roof and structure. Santa Cruz Transportation Center, the bathroom, the roof is damaged. And of course, on this administrative building, even though you may not see it now, thanks to superintendent and his team, there's a lot of cleanup, but we had a lot of leaking, and we have some sections of, what you would call that, the ceiling? Ceiling that was impacted. In terms of parochial road impact, several of the parochial roads were affected. However, thanks to the superintendent and his team, most of those, if not all of those roadways have been reopened. So we have proper vehicular traffic that is able to go through. For the registered poor and infirmary residents, for outdoor poor, we have approximately 600 outdoor registered poor in Manchester. However, the Inspector of Poor has reported that only 18 of those persons have been impacted significantly. That information would have also been presented to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security for those specific registered poor to get some assistance, further assistance as quickly as possible. The Inspector of Poor and her team, I am aware, the municipal corporation would have procured some items so that they can be distributed to all the registered poor, and I know that the Inspector of Poor and our team have been going out to the various divisions to ensure that takes place. In terms of relief coordination, the Health and Welfare Subcommittee of the Parish Disaster Committee was very active, and of course we had the report from the SDC. They assisted with MLSS to do damage assessments and needs assessment that is done primarily through the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. So there were 17 teams from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security that was working with SDC that was going out into the communities. As of November 3rd, a total of 388 household assessments were conducted by the team, and more than 1,000 packages, food packages, over 200 tarpaulin blankets and hygiene kits were distributed. That process remains ongoing. In terms of parish impact, so preliminary reports would have indicated that Western Manchester, Northern Manchester, Northeast and Northwest of Manchester and Central Manchester was primarily impacted with flooding and infrastructural damage. And most residents reported either damage to their farms, damaged homes, and to roadways. However, within the parish, there's a special area of concern that is currently ongoing, and that is rising waters in some specific communities. And so we have a total of 15 households in the content area that their house is fully underwater, and that area there's no passage through that community. Many of those persons have gone to shelters. Not true? Few. All right. We have gotten reports at the municipality that water is rising in Harmons, Evergreen, Comfort Hall, and Mile Gully area. From the Comfort Hall area, 2 families have been reported to have evacuated, and the council would have presented that 10 persons from the Comfort Hall areas are affected by the rising flood waters. Due to history of this rising water in Manchester, there is also concern for other communities such as Trinity, Redbury, Watermouth, and Melrose near the ball field. What is happening is the parish disaster coordinator, with the support of the SDC and the JCF, will be going to those areas to advise persons within the community on the need to evacuate as is necessary. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam CEO. In your report, it's probably an oversight. I just want to state that the Manchester Municipal Corporation is now carrying the St. Elizabeth Infirmary. So we are actually in charge of them now in terms of food, etc., because they don't have anything. And you know, if their building were damaged, their accounting procedures and all of those stuff would have been deeply affected. So immediately after the hurricane, we had to send down some food items and clean up the areas for them and all of that. So we are being our brother's keeper and sister's keeper. So further down, I will discuss some things or make some things known to us. All right. I'm going to be taking the comments from the various councillors, and I'm going down the line. So if you miss your chance, I'm coming back to you. So I'll start with the councillor from the Craighead division and go down and come up, and I'll finish with the deputy mayor.
Thank you. I have a question as it relates to, you're saying that Manchester is in charge of.
For the time being, yeah, the infirmary.
Infirmary.
Yeah.
Seeing as how we were struggling before with our infirmary, does it mean that resources usually coming from our peer? Just answer that before.
Councillors, put it this way. St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Toulon, in Manchester, St. Anne have been deeply affected. Funding for the various institutions have been deeply affected. And so we're asked, out of what we have for the time being, to make sure that our brothers and sisters are taken care of. Councillors, please. We have to understand what is going on. There's no property tax coming in from any of the parishes. Trade licenses have been affected severely. In our discussions on Tuesday, the Ministry of Local Government has written to the Ministry of Finance seeking additional support to do a carry-on of the budget of the municipalities. And so we have got to understand, we can't have our cakes and eat them, because if not, there are some decisions that will have to be taken which will affect every single individual in the municipalities. I'm sure I answered your question, sir. Not directly, but you should be able to pick out what you want out of it. No, I will ask no questions on the person's commenting there. Write down what you need to say for me, and then we'll take it there. Go ahead. Is there finish the promise, sir?
You're going to get your chance, but I know where you're going, sir, and I think you're going in the right direction, because we are struggling here in the parish. We are struggling, as a matter of fact. We need resources to help our people here. Anyway, I would first want to thank God for, blessing us in Manchester here, where so far I've not heard of any life that has been lost in the aftermath, the hurricane. But the truth to be told, that my division that I represent, I have visited more than 400 or 500 houses that have been severely damaged. And yes, man. And to say you never come. Anyway. But so, you know, the truth of the matter is that we have been affected here in the parish. And when I visited some of the homes and see the condition that persons were living under before, I realized that, boy, we have to be truly thankful for some of us who are living, I would say, I'm not living a great life, but when I see the conditions, I feel that
You're living an exceptional life.
I have to thank God, you know, but the conditions right now is severe out there. And I know that the Ministry of Local Government, you have some good news to tell us soon. And I know the Ministry of Labour and the team, they are working out there to help us to recover. But it's going to take more than just the government side to get the job done. So I'm calling on the private sector, I'm calling on everybody to help each other, especially in this parish, because we are going outside of the parish. Yes, they need help, but we needed help here also. You know, and when I look at some of the farms, you know that Northeast Manchester, especially the Craig division, there's a lot of farmers up there, and they are totally wiped out. And I'm going to ask those that have little something to sell, please use your conscience.
Yes.
Because they triple the prices of what they're selling, and the consumers are the same small persons who are struggling, who are going to go out there to buy and feed their families.
Good point.
So I'm saying to Jamaica, it is not an easy time for us in Northeast Manchester, and in especially Craig division where I represent. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Worship. First of all, let me give God thanks for life, and especially in the Grovetown division. Persons, the farmers, you know, Grovetown division is just mostly farming, and everything gone. Nothing, no gungo this year. Nobody don't need to call me. Everything. Everything gone in Worship, everything gone. Well, we have to say thank God, we are alive. We have homes, some zinc fly off. Some of the older homes lost their top. Well, persons who have deck house and so on. We are lucky that we still have a roof on. We have leaking. That's a main problem with the citizen homes, leaking with the zinc. So if it rains now, then you know, back to square one, they are in problem. Another thing, Your Worship, JPS. JPS, Your Worship. I made a report in the WhatsApp group about falling rotten poles. And you know what I'm concerned about, Your Worship? When you come to meeting, we spoke on rotten poles, and they don't listen. And most of those poles that fell in my division are rotten poles. I have two near to where I live, sir. And one of them went just as the rain and the breeze start. Another one down the bottom went. I made a report that the road was blocked, Your Worship. Nobody could come out. No one respond. Somebody, I don't know who passed and cleared the road. I don't know what they did. That is not my business. But when I look around, I could pass through. And then now, what happened? The one in the bottom now, Your Worship. The big trucks start to drag the wire from one end to the other. I could not come out of my driveway. They dragged the wire right at the gate, just like a fence. And then one night about 1 o'clock, I heard a big sound. A truck bounced right into the light pole, carried right down across the road. So when you report these things, I think if we even don't get back the light, same time, I think JP should come and clear the road. Right now, in my district, is a challenge. Last night I heard two men, taxi men, who passed first, and it was like they were going to kill themselves. We're having a problem down there. They need to come and take the rotten poles out of the road, take the wire. That is the most important thing today I'm reporting. The road needs to be clear, Your Worship.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning again, everyone. Oh, I wasn't here, so I don't speak. All right. I must say commendation to the team, even though I was not here. The communication with Mr. Lewis was very good with me, straight up until the disaster struck. But I still continue to send messages. In the poorest division, the challenge that I saw is that the centers weren't able to open until almost the night of the disaster. Basically, I'm on the phone dialoguing with Mr. Lewis to make sure that the Ramble Center is open, the Harman Center. That it should be the St. Louis New Testament Church, but the office of the church think the building is compromised, so they end up in the Alexander Basic School. Until now, there has not been a visit to the Alexander Basic School. Where that is concerned, I got some cleaning agent this week to clean the school, and that is a concern for me because there were 7 persons in that shelter, and nobody visited. For the Harmon's Primary School also, I don't know if, because Mr. Lewis could not confirm this week if they had gotten any resources there. Having dialogue with the principal since I'm back. I must also encourage effective communication between the agencies and the political directorates. Many times there are persons who got left behind because the agencies are in our respective divisions, and many times there are some persons that we know and the SDC or Ministry of Labor don't know. So there are times we need you to communicate with us just a little more so we can put your hands on these persons. Up to now, I'm getting cussing from last year because this gentleman who was blew off, his name was on a list and he has not gotten a visit. So that's a concern that I have in my area. The rising of water in my domains, that's another. Honestly, when I came in from Montego because there are some death in my family. 5 to be exact. 2 buried Saturday, so my sister and mom was here. Take them to Montego Bay, so I drive this end to come up and I ball all the way up. Trust me, it's really a sight to see. But I stopped in Williamsfield yesterday, and when I saw that body of water there, first I'm seeing it. Yes, so I know it's coming down to pores because already the red berry legs start to fill up down there, but the runoff is not so bad, so I'm going to do a visit there this evening and also in Harmons because it is a concern for me. And the question is, if these persons' homes are engulfed, where will they go? That's a question that we need to look at. But in the meantime, as my colleague has mentioned to the vendors out there, please, let us be empathetic. Let us be our brothers and sister keepers. Let us, those persons who can make a difference, not only make a difference in the lives of the residents down there, we have it too in our backyard. Because our families where houses are affected, houses are gone. I have one family where 8 of them live in the house, 6 children, 2 parents, mother and father, and I got pictures of their house totally gone. All right, so our people are affected too. So we, your worship, have to focus on our individual divisions as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Councillors, officers, we really have to give thanks for life. And I say this to point out that at first the hurricane was slated to hit Manchester full on. Had it hit Manchester, we wouldn't be here today. Mr. Chair, in the Knockpatrick division, we had about 4 listed centers, and on the night of the hurricane, only 1 was up and running. We really have to do a SWOT analysis of our readiness as a council, because we have these shelters all listed, 100 and more of them, and in truth and in fact, most of them, both principal and whoever, don't know of the school being a shelter. So we need to look into that. Yes. I have visited over 100 persons in my division who between partial to total roof. I've made a list, I've submitted to the SDC, to Ministry of Labor. I really hope when they go out in the field, they find these persons and not just anybody. It is not politically based. I went right across my division. Persons are complaining of loss of crops, livestock, and I have directed them to the Ministry of Mr. Chair, one thing that bothers me most of all, we have a member of parliament for Central Manchester who every day she gets up and preach. She doesn't do tribal politics. I would think she would at least reach out to the councillors in Central Manchester. Well, I can't talk for South. South must talk for themselves. So Mr. Chair, and it is serious. I mean, she's all over Facebook and TikTok. What would be a better ups than meeting with the councillors of Central Manchester? Even if you're not arguing nothing, meet with us, find out what is happening in the division. I am still waiting for her to reach out, Mr. Chair. I must publicly thank MP Bunting. He reached out to me and I got some water and some care packages. The phone service was down, so you promised that. I'm saying, I went to visit him. I went to visit him personally. So might be you're texting and you're not getting him. Yes, well, probably give it, no one's left. No one's left. I can't give you a few.
Councillors.
Yes, I can't give you a few cases. Right. Mr. Chair, can I get some protection?
Councillors, no cross talking, please.
We'll pick it up after.
Yes, Mr. Chair. So I am hoping for persons to just reach out to your neighbor. I hear Councillor Wilson say we're going out of parish, but Councillor, I have been to White House, I have been to Black River, and if your heart not strong, don't go. Persons down there are 10 times worse than what is happening in this parish. My final point, Mr. Chair, I don't know if it will reach anywhere, but we have a lot of persons who are homeless and they don't have any, I can't say they're not going to get back any home anytime soon. I am aware that the government has some houses up by rent land. They are there idle for years now. I would suggest that arrangements be made so that some of these homeless persons can take up at least temporary residence in these dwellings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I won't make any comment yet. Go ahead, Councillor Oliphant.
Thank you, Chairman.
Councillor Smith, Councillor Moran Baker and company. Go ahead, Councillor Oliphant.
Thank you, sir. I too want to say thanks to the Lord for what he has done for us.
Yeah.
And I know that persons in Mandeville Division have been affected by this hurricane. A lot have lost roof partially. Some have lost the complete roof. I'm one resident in Confident Avenue. She have lost a whole roof. And this is a elderly lady who have worked hard for this country. And in her sunset years, to have come to this, it was really heart-rending. I knew trees fell across roads which were cleared. And also I noticed that at Gibson Close, a house was completely submerged underwater. And so in addition to the roofs that were lost, and agriculture has suffered a lot. I know personally my sister down in Comfort Hall, her farm is ravaged. And in addition to that,
she lost her roof. So she had a double problem there. But thanks to Councillor Kennedy, he went to her rescue. And also Councillor Wilson, who came to my rescue. Thank you. But the losses there was nothing much for me to be alarmed about, and I have to say thanks be to God. I know I cannot locate an aunt in the hills of Westmoreland. I don't know what has happened to her so far, but we are trying to find her. But we hope that everything will be okay. But when we look at what has taken place in this country by this storm, it's total devastation, especially in the West. And we thank God. We have to pray for the people there, and we have to help them, because we get requests for water ever so often from people in the West. They need water. Then they say they need food. As it relates to light, that is the last part that they will talk about. A lot of homes have been ravaged. And I know it's going to take a lot of strength and a lot of wisdom to rebuild. It is my hope that all the insurance monies that will come in from disaster, it will be appropriated to the people in need most. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Evans.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Very refreshing to see the faces of my brothers and sisters supporting this. No.
Councillor Evans, you're addressing the chair.
All right, thank you, sir. As you have probably already heard, the Christian division suffered severe loss, especially the district of Hibernia, which is adjoining to Councillor Miller and Councillor Kennedy's divisions. No roof was spared in Hibernia. No roof was spared. Places of worship, and everybody is right now. Everybody wants to see their councillor. So I can tell you that. Yes, it's good, and to tell you that the assessment is actually taking longer than I think it would take, because you cannot pass anybody. And unlike some persons that are offering assistance, we don't skip people when we're doing these things. All right? And I want the councillors to don't be partial when you're going out and looking for people. The breeze was not partial in whose roofs it hit, and the water was not partial in who has leaks. I want to take this opportunity to thank the first responders, the fire, the council itself, the police, and the supporting agencies. I think more could be done in terms of certain sections, like where the SDC is concerned, but I guess this is a learning curve, and we have to appreciate what is going on. I was told that it is not prudent to be seen with the SDC, the political directorate, but as elected officials, we are elected for everyone, and I don't see anything wrong if we at least shadow them in their assessments also. Hibernia, Hopewell, Sawmill, Spring Ground, Brunty, all of these places are in need of dire help. The Christian market already was leaking before this storm. So I can tell you that right now it is like a sieve. I have persons that sell clothes and shoes, and they are selling floodlights now because they can't go back to their shops. Clothes and shoes in there rotting, and we really need to pay some attention to the Christian market. I don't know what will happen after I leave this council, but I don't want to leave certain things on the books, just like the Christian market. Mr. Chairman, Madam CEO, please, I'm imploring the people, on behalf of the people of Northeast Manchester, please let us pay some attention to the Christian market. JPS has been doing a fairly good job. I've seen them out, And even in my situation, I had light yesterday and I went home last night and there was no light. But the Percy Junior light was restored there, and you know that's a critical concern. But in communities like Bronte and Spring Ground, where the poles are actually still across the road, the community wants to know when light is going, electricity will be returned to them. And I really don't know what to say. A message was sent in the WhatsApp group the other day where we should send the community that we have down poles still. I saw that message late, but I was communicate to Mr. Brackett and see what can be done where that is concerned. The schools took a hit in my division. The Homewood Technical, the Christiana Moravian, Christiana Lease, all of them suffered some amount of damage. However, they have reopened in a phase basis because we don't want to have the kids at home. Even in Homewood, children were allowed to carry their devices and wear their clothes just to have some sort of semblance of normalcy. We should learn from this storm, and I think that now is the best time. We just come out of a general election where the country is definitely divided, and we need now to mend fences. And I think coming together after this storm would be the perfect opportunity. I thank you.
Thank you, sir. I realize you have not mentioned anything about George North.
Oh, sir, I have it right here. Let me, please, alone. I am so sorry.
I'm not taking any complaint, because we went there to make sure the road is clear.
I must commend the council that on my return, that was already in motion. And I actually just went there to supervise and to see what was going on. It was the most severe land slippage in my division, and it was clear within 3 days after. So thank you so technical team. Right now we have road slippage in Bronte. Mr. Christie came and had a look at it yesterday. I know that information will be Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. And I just want for the records, apart from the technical team, I bring a social team, myself, the CEO, because she's new in the parish, she wanted to see some of the places, so we have been to most of the divisions. We go to Newport, the CEO didn't come because the CEO don't do certain things, Councillor Bryce. And, and I had to protect her. I had to protect her from you, so you know. We won't say Councillor Simin. Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, could you just permit me to go back to the homeless on the day of the hurricane? I could not stand here without mentioning the homeless population that we have in Manchester. The Mandeville Primary and Junior High was a home for them.
Yeah.
And we had hosted over 35 persons in that facility. And we just want to say thanks to the Manchester Municipal Corporation, the psychiatric nurse assistant, and the police, the municipal police, who stayed with them right through the passing of the hurricane. Because, Mr. Chairman, when we call on the Manchester Health Department, they decided that the only thing that they can do for them is to pick them up and to medicate them, but they will not stay with them. And so we had to get assistant of persons to stay with them. So big thanks to those persons. And during the passing, they were well comfortable, Mr. Chairman, because a number of items were handed over to them. And also we want to say thanks to Popeyes, who came on board, and they have given us 100 vouchers for the homeless from World Homeless Day. So we have been feeding them with Popeyes from World Homeless Day until the passing.
Councillors. If you want Popeyes, you have to be homeless.
Yeah, you have to be homeless.
Yeah, go ahead, Councillor.
Mr. Chairman, you can protect the peace.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
And KFT continues to be our partners with the homeless as well. So we continue to say thanks to them. Back to the Wallaston Division, I must say, Mr. Chairman, I'm so happy and I'm hoping and trusting that the family of the Manchester Municipal Corporation, including the staff and the councillors, they were all safe during the passing of the hurricane. As for me, Mr. Chairman, my family and I was safe, and we give God thanks for that. However, our neighboring residents or our neighbors were not so fortunate, Mr. Chairman. After the passing of the hurricane, I have gone to at least 13 to 15 communities out of 33 communities in my division. And when I've done the assessment, I've gone over 200 houses that have been affected. And out of that, we might find at least 10 homes that is totally, the roof is totally gone. When you talk about farming, Mr. Chairman, we have no farm left in the Wallaston Division. Everything is flat. Bananas, so we always promise people some bananas. You can't get any for this Christmas because every banana tree is down, Mr. Chairman. Yams are down, cabbage, everything. We have lost so many things up there. Institutions and schools have been affected also. About 8 we have seen where the Knox Community College has been affected. The roof is gone. The Cobbler ECI, the roof has been affected. The Chantilly Primary and Infant School, the roof has been affected. The Comfort Hall ECI, the Mount Olivet Primary School, the Mount Olivet Boys Home, the Mount Olivet United Church, and the Chantilly Anglican Church. And I must make mention, Mr. Chairman, that 2 of these churches, they are historical. That's the Mount Olivet United Church and the Chantilly Anglican Church. And Melissa has gone through them. I don't know when even the Mount Olivet United Church is going to come back.
Melissa is not a Christian, you know.
It looks so. And even though, Mr. Chairman, our heart goes out to the neighboring parishes where they have been worse affected than us. But during that time when I went to the Mount Olivet Boys Home, Mr. Chairman, they have no drinking water. No drinking water was at Mount Olivet Boys Home. They want blankets. They want food. They have only one generator to run the whole facility. And I don't know when they are getting back light because some poles are down as we speak. And so I'm seeking help for the boys. We have 32 boys up there, and they are in need of help. In closing, Mr. Chairman, as a councillor, I recognize that I have a responsibility to the people of the Wallaston Division, and I'm sure that the government is not going to help all of them. And so as a division, we have come up with an initiative, and it is called the Hurricane Melissa Roofathon Roofathon Relief Fund. So we as a division has come up with a plan to ask persons to help us, if we can help us to at least build back or to at least help 2 persons or 3 persons with a sheet of zinc or a piece of board. This initiative, Mr. Chairman, we have seek the permission of the hardware, and so any fund that is coming to the division goes straight to the hardware. So we won't be dealing with any cash. And so we are seeking councillors' help. And I'm going to send it to every councillor and every one of my friends so you can send. Right. So,
they have a program I'm doing with something there.
yeah, man. So, Mr. Chairman, thanks to those who have been helping. And even though they are on the ground, we still need a little more help at the Wallaston Division. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Just to advise though, we have to make sure when we're doing these funds or soliciting funds, it is on a legitimate platform, because right now, I know about 2 or 3 families that have been already scammed. Because scammers are what you call them, set up some different accounts and some things for hardware. Because actually, when they call the hardware, and it's a particular hardware, not going to call the name, and say that we send money or whatever it is and all of that, the hardware man say, I know nothing about it. So they just put a name there, put an account there and whatever. So let us make sure that whatever we are doing, we check the source first before we do anything. But you have 13 males in here, they should be able to take, one man should be able to take care of one of the boys there, become a father to them, and to see how much they can help them. And so you 30, and who do have any children can take 10 and 5. Huh? Some can't take any because they're overloaded. All right, Councillor Mitchell, your time, sir.
Mr. Chairman,
yeah?
before I stand again to say thanks to the Chinese community,
Yeah.
where they came along with MP Azan. MP Azan reached out to Councillor Evans and myself, where the Chinese community was driving around in the constituency issuing care packages, and Wallaston had received over 100 care packages from the Chinese community. So we just want to say publicly thanks to the Chinese community.
Yes, sir. I know who they are. Councillor Mitchell.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good morning again to everybody. Let me just say, I am not one who have seen or heard from much people yet, in spite of your report of people being seen and heard and going all over. The battle is not yet won, and I, for one, the damage is significant in the Belfield Division. Let me just say, no part of the Belfield Division yet, except down in the William Seal main road, has received electricity, where they placed it to put it at the water pump in Porous. Even my house this morning, I left it come here without no power. And I let the JPS people know that I am very, very disheartened and frustrated at the issues that with minimal or no damage. And let me just say, last year in Beryl, we had significant damage, and this council ensured that JPS pushed the lines. So we didn't have a lot of that. So the people are frustrated, the people are angry that they have not seen any repairs as yet. I know I hear Councillor Evans and others saying that they see JPS working. I have not seen a JPS unit any at all since the hurricane. Well, in the Belfield Division I'm speaking, we have not. Yeah, that's not the Belfield Division. Well, let me just say, but I've been keeping in contact with them. I made some phone calls to the coordinator. Didn't get that person over the holidays. The damage was significant. Luckily, I have made plans over the years to put someone on duty to ensure that whenever you have a hurricane and down trees, by the time I couldn't reach Belfield. On my street, my tree dropped. It was the last tree that I cut days after the hurricane. It was because of the community spirit of the people from Belfield. And after Beryl, I thought volunteerism was dead. But after Beryl, I saw a difference in the people where they all come together. And by the time I could have moved around, I couldn't go up the regular long to go to Belfield. There were 4 trees dropped out of one exact spot. It took us 3 hours to clear that tree and cut up a JPS post that was there. You had to. I don't care what they want to do. So we should have left it up to today We should have left it up to
Councillors, please, if a pole is falling across the road and it breaks in two, you have to cut off half of it to clear the road.
Luckily,
right?
I was there, Chairman, to supervise and ensure that no damage was done to the wires. Because before I reached the pier, and the persons wanted to cut the wires, and I said, no, that will take some time. When I move around, and I move to every single community in the morning, every single community, I came out the road about 9 o'clock. I went to every single community. By the time I reached places like Bombay, where Miss Allen lived, I was able to see persons putting on back their roofs. Luckily, some persons were able to come out, and I see the ladies washing them clothes and doing whatever, and I tried to make sure that I covered every single ground. Churches are destroyed, church roofs are gone, schools had some minimal damage of water damage and so forth to the furniture. The infrastructure was not so bad. Luckily, we kind of maintained our drains so the water was able to run off. And let me just say, Chairman, even after the hurricane passed, we now have another disaster with water rising first in the Belfield division in Content. The water, from the history of it, is not the first time it rose in 1977, contrary to popular demand or belief. It rose before that, but those weren't on record. Our record weren't being kept then. But the first record was 1977. 2 persons died in 1977. It rose again in 2002, and I think it rose small again in about 2004, and it's now rising again. It is the first the water have reached this level. I came to this council last week to seek some help. As I said, I don't get nobody on phone more than so. So when I came to this council to seek some help, because I was trying to call the Water Resources Authority, no answer. So I came because I thought it was a ministry. We share the same ministry. When I came here, I got a number and I called the ministry in Kingston with the help of Ms. Hepburn. I got to the CEO, Mr. Clark. Before that, I spoke to the geology unit because the UWI principal is a friend of mine, Dr. Denzel Williams. And he, within a matter of calling within hours, 1 hour after, 2 hours after, the geology unit of the UWI called me. And that is how I was able to kind of get an understanding. Because the water now has covered basically most of the houses over there. It has never happened like that before. And you have next door, I reached out yesterday or 2 days ago to NWA parish coordinator. And the thing that irritates me the most, when I reach out to agencies for help or for people information, nobody will know what to do. There's no protocol set, there's nothing happening, nobody is giving assistance, nobody is coming to say, Councillor, we are aware of this. And I said to Mr. Clark from the Water Resources Authority, that I am disheartened because it's on the news and read the article to hear say them measure the water now. Nobody came in and said to us whatever. Me have to go down there myself and move out the first 3 people with my personal.
You sure you I thought it was the MP? Because the MP said she moved out the people.
No, which MP? I was there when I called you, your worship, and you came and spot. I called Mr. Needham because I didn't know who else to call. Mr.
Because the fire trucks were there, the fire birds move out some of the people.
10 minutes, send the fire truck. And we assessed it to say that it makes no sense for us to pump out the water. Because there's a sinkhole at the back there and the water goes back there. So I see even people dig a trench next door to say they're running out of water. It makes no sense. Because there's an underground unit of water there that if you dig it up and you put it, water is here and you put it over here, it goes back to the same place. The aquifer is over, is full, and it is burning. So Chairman, when I reached out to NWA yesterday, they don't know what to do also. When I came to this council, when I take my vehicle again and come up with the council here, I'm trying to call the soup and get the soup. We go up a parish council, we took up the barriers and we could have fined. And myself and the police called me for assistance and we got Black Kirkvine and we block William Seal. And I said and I made a public plea, I made videos, I asked people not to go in the area. It is a festive place where sound down that play, jerk pan a jerk chicken, and people are sell rum and boom, and everybody wants to think and make it an exciting affair. When it started, I made a public plea to say persons do not come in contamination with the water. There are graves there are old pits, there are old pit latrines and all of that. And people say, oh, the water pretty because it's green and nice and whatever the case is. The water, I got somebody to come and test the water, and immediately the test results show that the water is contaminated. It's a significant level. I sent the email to the CEO. So, Chairman, the geology unit was able to give me some information. The water resources was able to give me some information. But when I asked questions as to what is it, that's what's next, everybody is just a wait and see. I asked the superintendent that maybe he has to have a team and other engineers ready. Because maybe when the water recedes, Content Road might have to go sink. What the geology unit said to me and you is that you may have a sinkhole in place, just open up. So it's just a wait and see. And the people, they don't know what to do. People have left, but I want to make it public that persons have called me offering homes that the persons need to move. Luckily, the persons there, 2 persons was in the shelter at Content, which we made a makeshift shelter by our choice to put the persons' furniture there. Other persons came to Mandeville where their family came and got them and they're staying with family. But as to the protocols to how you deal with a matter like this, the relevant agency seems to be clueless. There's not much help coming, and I know it's something new, but it's, and Chairman, I'm going to close by saying this. When I spoke to NWA, I said we are also in a wait and see matter because Chairman, the water is now rising next floor, where your division meets Councillor Wilson's division. The water is rising in Porous and it is rising in Evergreen. But here people are also aware that the water is rising in front of the backside plant, the old Kirkvine plant. That's your division where Councillor Wilson's division meet. So when Content is blocked now, which has already been blocked for days, the other route that brings the people to the northern side of the parish of Christiana, Spaldings and wherever, when that route is blocked, that is an issue, and I call the NWA to ask, what is the plan? What is it that we're going to do? Are we going to send them through Davidton up to Chantilly, which is, that road is not conducive because I drive through there to test the route myself. And my goal and wherever the case is, there's not a plan in place. Nobody is speaking, we're just asking questions and looking out of space. What is the plan that we have to ensure that when Kendall is blocked off, or when we have a sinkhole drop, or whatever happen, or more water start to rise? Water came out of Spur Tree last week Sunday. Water just sprayed on there like a waterfall. I went down with a team that I invited there to search for the other openings that normally happen down by Melrose. Because the water normally rises in Content immediately, and it starts in Porous immediately. It's never starts in Porous until a week after. And we are trying to find out where the water normally would come up down by Melrose Yam Park. So we have backside that has done damage to us for 50, 60 years, and has created a problem what we can't solve at this moment. So I'm asking Chairman, my final point is to ask the relevant authorities to come to this council. Let us have a sit down with the relevant agencies so we can put some plans in place, because 6 weeks before hurricane, rain fell almost every day, and it is scheduled to fall up until December. The aquifers underground are full, they are full, and even the knockings that we
Thank you, Councillor Mitchell.
And I want Mr. Byfield to be aware, we do not in this parish have proper road markings or signs or anything planned for that. There wasn't a sign, I couldn't find a sign to the council or to NWA to say detour, close, road close, nothing. And that is unacceptable. So I'm asking that this council make some of those signs available, that when we have disasters or accidents or whatever, detour, stop signs, some of the signs that we can use temporarily to put at these locations. Because there was a truck accident in Content this morning. 5:30, a regular unit, a large trailer was there, moving and traveling at regular speed. And we started putting sandbags down in Content to kind of keep the water from reaching Mr. Baker's house, who's a member of this council. A truck at the sandbag stopped him this morning at 5:30. He said never have no clue. I don't know which part him live. I don't know if he see it on TikTok or news. Him said never know say water was rising around there. And we use the barriers of the council, use from way out of the roundabout and way in Curvine, and people continue to move it every day. So they want to go there, go live and go take pictures.
Councillors, but let me just clear a few points. Let me make it clear for the records, because no councillor has the authority to put anybody on any work. I'm not saying Councillor Mitchell did. I'm just reminding you. If there's an emergency in your division, the Parochial Roads Act speaks directly to how it is supposed to be reported. That you must contact the Chief Engineering Officer for his engagement. Because if you put person on work and they don't get paid, you can't blame anybody on this side. Because I'm not putting my signature on something that I don't know of. When you send to the CEO or whatever, and they say they don't know nothing about it and they start to appeal to me. I have to be guided by what they say. Secondly, with the barriers down there, I think we have to look at where we put the barriers. Because when you put the barriers at the roundabout, there are other businesses and people that are not affected that has to get to where they live. We have to either permanently block off the place or do something. The water is not going to affect me, myself, and Wilson. It will affect myself and Northeast, because down that side is Northeast. When you pass the train line, now I get it to John's Hall. But the water and content is affecting me because the other side of the road is the Royal Flat Division. But we have to engage, NAA has to be engaged some more, because all of these roadways are their roadways that have been significantly impacted. And I don't hear nothing from none of them either, you know. I call and I hear, boy, we're monitoring. While we are monitoring, people's lives and properties are at risk. Say something to these people, because the people are hope renewed, hope restored. If you don't say something, they don't know what to do. And so, you know, we have to go call. When I finish here, I'm going to be calling on somebody in the NAA head office to speak to see what can happen. All I see from Works Agency, our Water Resources Authority, is that the water has risen 100 meters up from where the aquifer is. I was down there one day and I see persons from the JDF, Coast Guard, in the water doing some tests or doing some things. But I want to appeal to the persons who are going there. My understanding is that one man went in there and swim or whatever, one man tasted the water. E. coli is in the water. Every single house or yard that is down there has a sewer pit or some pit. And if the aquifer is full and those pits are full, all of the feces and all of that is going to rise to the surface or somewhere in the water. It is dangerous for persons to walk in the water, taste the water, swim in the water. And I'm appealing, because only thing that will do, you will have cholera outbreak, you will have dengue, you will have all of that. We need to ask the Ministry of Health to fog the area, because when it comes to 5 o'clock, we know it's now getting dark. Mosquitoes start to appear from all over the place. So, the agencies of government can't be reacting, they have to be proactive. And that is a problem we have in this country. We are too reactive. We wait until things get out of hand completely, and we're trying to solve the problem. So please, Mr. News Media, please write to them for us. Call, beg them on our behalf. They need to come in the parish, because water is rising left, right, and center in the parish. And we don't have any sea here or rivers here. They're going to move from one area to the other until some months later before they recede. But people's lives have to go on. We're already impacted. Councillor.
Thank you, Your Worship. Afternoon, everyone. Well, we have to give our thanks that Manchester
as well. I just want to speak on the matter of the content as well, even though that's spoken here, but as a former member of work at employer, the bank, in terms of water table and even the crocodiles, there are some sections in Black River that crocodile with the rise of the water, crocodile come and land, and I heard that some persons where crocodile had eaten some persons in the Black River. 10 feet long crocodiles. And in content, I don't know if there's any area in there that crocodile is maybe swamp area or suffered. It can be dangerous. Most people down there, looking at suffer. As the mayor mentioned about the water, you have to be careful because there was someone who mentioned a chuck, right? A chuck loading water from the same section that the water is rising. And I guess that they use it to, I don't know if sell back persons, I don't know. But they were videoing the person. He was actually hiding, so you know that it's a situation that is serious. So I'm warning everybody in here, when you're buying water from most of these persons who are not licensed operators, we have to ensure that we take keen attention to them and where the water is coming from. It can be can cause disease and anything like that to spread. However, so that's it so far.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. My ear wasn't affected that much. Thank you.
Alligator Pond, I wish you could say the same too. All right, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone.
It's afternoon? Yes.
And,
so you don't have to finish by 12:30.
I want to start my 2 minutes because I realize that a lot of persons abuse the time set out. I want to start my 2 minutes by sending condolences to all those who would have lost their lives during Hurricane Melissa. This Category 5 really wreaked havoc, especially on the southern belt and the western side of Jamaica. Alligator Pond wasn't spared, and so many of our people have to press restart. That's the word I have right now for my people, especially the farmers, the fisher folks. Restart is the order of the day. Some fishermen, when they went out after the waters calmed down a little, they couldn't find anything out there to resemble a fish trap. I really cry out because I know that it will impact the society on a whole. Productivity is on stall right now for the Alligator Pond Division, farmers and fishers. The main cry though is JPS, because after burial it took us 10 or 11 days to restore electricity. With more damages would have been seen with posts down, and we looking on would say after Melissa we should have gotten the restoration sooner. And we are at 2 weeks. 2 weeks after JPS poles are still blocking a section of the Turnatop Road, which caused accident 2 nights ago, and luckily there were no serious injuries. A bike and a market hit into the pole. Pole is still down in Lane New Forest. A pole is still down in Lane New Forest, and I'm calling on JPS to speed up the restoration, especially in the Alligator Pond Division, so that our people can help themselves to pick up the pieces and start to work again.
These districts would include sections of Sea Air still without electricity, sections of Bramington Hall, sections of New Forest. And when I say sections of, to know that electricity is next door and it's not in your household, it is more painful. Sections of Bentown, Well Road, Duff House, Plowden, Alligator Pond, no electricity, 2 weeks and counting. Would have suffered structural damages, flooding at Lane, and I'm sure you would have known about that road was impassable for a couple of days. Those persons would have lost everything, furniture, all of that gone, mattresses, stoves, you name it. So those persons will need a lot of support from the relevant agencies. Would have lost 3 community signs that were placed from the municipal corporations prior to the disaster. One at Downs, New Forest, and Alligator Pond, those are gone. The market severely damaged. I'm hoping that we can get the modern market now. Yeah, let me hope that the relevant ministry, and I would have had several walks in burial with the Minister of Local Government, promising a lot of things. Let me hope now we will get that modern market. Sir, if you're watching, the parochial roads that are damaged, East Downs, restoration started yesterday thanks to the Manchester Municipal Corporation, and I know they'll be moving to Lagwood. Miller Road was also damaged, Lane New Forest. Help is needed in Alligator Pond Division. Thanks though to New Forest Primary and High School, those schools were reopened. They didn't suffer major damage as in Beryl, so school started Monday for those. However, Prospect Primary, Alligator Pond Primary, Alligator Pond, ECI, they were impacted. Reopening is uncertain for those schools. Let me also commend the Member of Parliament, Mr. Peter Bunting, who would have assisted, and I can say helping me to cushion some of the pressure. NGOs from overseas and locally, the Chinese community also reached out, and Kingston High Ridge. Those are the persons who and organizations who have helped to cushion the crisis so far. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Bryce, not a thing, do you, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't hear, sir.
Turn off that mic, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me say, no, yes, but not no, not yet. We didn't have much damage, Mr. Chair. What I did, I drove through in a private vehicle the day after hurricane because buried. Everybody called me to say the house damaged. When you reach it, they say they put it on back. Yeah. So I drove through in a private vehicle, the entire division. So I looked at everybody's house. Then when I drove through, no one who said their house that way. I said, I drive through, man. You did not know your house. We would end up with less than 20 house damage. But we'll have about 5 or 6, which is entirely roof off. So let me say, thank God. Yes. Thank God. We don't have much house damage. We have a few blockages, which Mr. Chair, you tour with me. Yeah, the soup tour with me, and Councillor Simit was there. And you see the road blockage. That has been cleared now.
Couldn't get to you.
That has been cleared now. JPS. Driving through our 4 light posts blown down. Newport Division still don't get back light. I called Mr. Brackett up here, excuse. I don't see any of the private contractors. I don't see none of them. It's the first I seen a JPS van is done, Councillor Brown here when I was on Revision Road yesterday. I don't know, I see him pushing up something, and I thought light would come back at my house. And he never come back. But Mr. Chair, I won't take 2 minutes, but immediately the day after a hurricane, let me say thanks now to the Member of Parliament. The day after a hurricane, we met and he was with some packages just to give who affected most. And tapali, and they were grateful for it. If you think of your damage, just take a drive, come off a Spurtree Hill. I went to Black River, I went to Westmoreland, and I went to Chilani. If you don't have no good heart, don't go. I spoke to a gentleman who said in Black River, he and his wife was in the same bed, and the roof that blown off, and he hugged the wife and said, "Come, baby, we let go this side." And the wife turned back for the bag with the important papers, and a pool of water come. I'll know him don't see his wife. I'll know him don't, and his wife is not at any of the shelters. Not at any of the shelters. So when I hear people, even in my division, one lady go on TikTok and say nobody not paying, nobody not South Manchester. Water come in and went up in mattress. When I went to her house, not even a zinc. Not even a zinc. And when I see her on TikTok, I drove there myself. And I said, "What happened to you?" Not even a zinc. And I said, "Water coming from me too." Wicked, man. So we have to just give thanks. Manchester was spared this side of Manchester. I can understand that the north side, because the storm go to that side. But this side of Manchester was spared. Very Lash was wicked. Very Lash was wicked.
So we couldn't
this
get no
time,
more.
we were spared. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. The second time I'm here.
Councillor Bryce?
For the Johnsall Division, we're mostly a farming division, so we were mostly hit in the area of farming. The side that is nearer to St. Elizabeth, which is Maidstone, Mayfield, St. Paul's, Freetown, we would have lost a lot of roofs in that area. In the Johnsall to Maidstone area, we have been appealing and preaching and begging from last year for that bocce wall to be erected. Well, the road space is dwindling daily now that we had a lot of rains from Melissa and even before. So I am asking that our next visit be done to look at that wall and a proper estimate being done, and hope that this one doesn't last in the channel this time. We are having, since the hurricane, we have not seen the clearing of the skips in my area. The skips in Hazygood and Lyndhurst. I'm also concerned about the disaster team here. Every month we would have come to disaster meetings. So I'm just trying to understand. Disaster preparedness meeting. We come to those meetings, so the councillors are involved in the preparedness. Are we not supposed to be involved in the after? Or are we just involved in the preparedness and during? Because I don't see where we are engaged by the different agencies, the Ministry of Labour who have things given out left, right, and center. You understand? And it is not being distributed, and we are going to hear about, we are not going to give it to the councillor because it will be political. Yes. Look here, when you go into some of these areas where Melissa seems as if she come with some burner, and all the places are dry. Sometimes when some of these social workers go into these areas, them green up the place, it is so green. So let us not talk about politics and all of that, because some of the social workers are more political, more than the politicians. So I want to understand, as I said before, the disaster preparedness whole committee thing. Are we only supposed to be involved up to the preparedness and during, and what happens after? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson. You asked pertinent questions, you know. And those questions have been asking for a long, long time. Earlier I heard Councillor Evans spoke to the matter of SDC. It is prudent that SDC persons not being seen with the politicians. You know, it is pathetic that as elected officials, remember now we're not volunteers, we're elected officials, people vote for us. People vote for us. And all we have been told that we must send people to them. I have not been into the Royal Flat Division yet. I've been to sections. Because as the mayor, I try to visit the other divisions, especially those on the northwestern side, southern side, to see what has taken place. And I remember going up through Lincoln, Huntley, Silver Grove, and those areas to see what has happened. I've been down through Ballinor, down to Racecourse. I've been down to sections of the south, areas where Councillor Cherry and Councillor Bryce meet in those areas. And I've looked and I've seen. But from Beryl, I've started taking a stand. I don't know if it's the right thing, but I've done it. I remember clearly, and I'm going to speak, that prior to Beryl, we were told that each councillor could get or should spend up to 500,000 to do or to create some help prior to and after the hurricane. And up until now, as we speak 1 year later, councillors have not received those funding. We have now gotten another correspondence, about $250,000. And the fact is that I have sent in or draft the letter for my own. I don't sign it yet. Because the members of parliament who are also elected have been given funds. Funds upon funds. And prior to, during, and after. And some of them have spent. And you don't hear no quarreling and all of that, but you hear that you must send GCT and names and telephone numbers and all of that and all of that. You know, sometimes we wonder if we are children of a lesser God as councillors. Because when a citizen house top is blown off, or all of that, and you can't help them, yes, you can empathize with them and say yes, but listen to me, faith without works is dead. You can't go look for one sick with a pan in bed for 10 years and can walk with a bottle of Milo or a tin of milk. That person has been praying all of their 10 years. So them have the faith. You need to walk with the works. And so we have to re-look at the whole situation of how things happen in this country. In the Americas, in the US, where everybody wants to be and all of that. It is the councillors and the mayors and all those persons are in charge of relief and in charge of what goes on in these municipalities. But you are asked to speak, come to meetings, make up noise, and when the time comes, it is a different agency. We hardly know the people them. And I recall, and if it's not correct, you can help me tomorrow, that they are now saying that SCC have to, is what, you go on their own and MLSS go on their own or something like that. I mean, there's no synergy. People are doing all they want to do and people are suffering. Suffering. And at this, the pace at which the assessment is being done, come next year this time some people's house is not yet assessed. Come next year this time their house is not assessed. I hear the minister says that he's going to get some people from the on a WISEP program to do whatever it is. Yes, people are going to say yes, Tom Brown house damage and all of that. But there needs to be some technical expertise in some of this. You know, I have said though to some of these buildings, the people who have lost buildings, churches and all of that, do not start to do the work on some of them. I know you want to work on them, but there has to be a rethinking of housing and buildings and the building codes as to how houses are built within the tropical area. You can't just put in back house a house top because if the same breeze come next year, the house top is gone again. So I am appealing also to these persons. Yes, I know you want to be sheltered and all of that, but let us look at how is it that we are building, where we can slab our deck. I think it's a time for us to go that way because we're in the hurricane belt, and so it can come at any time. Last year, Beryl come as a second hurricane. We never get early hurricane. And this one coming in the latter end, so we don't know when. We are not God. And so we got to be prepared. But councillors, it is tough. And I'm asking my constituents in the Raffa division to see with me because I need to make sure I wrap up the other divisions because I don't want them to say me do my division first and left them out and all that. So I'm trying to see what can be done. But we have to. The ministry has to do better. The government has to do better. Councillors has to be involved. There's 230 of us. Nobody knows the country better than we do. And it is pathetic. When it comes to election, we go to every place, Labour and PMP, because we are not vote. So why is it now that you are saying because it is time to give some things? It's only certain people can get and whatever it is. And the councillors don't get $250,000. Can't buy 10 sheets of zinc for some people. It's only 10 people you can get or whatever. And by the time the money come back here, those people done dead done long time. You know, but, you know, it's not for much of talking. The minister says he's going into cabinet retreat today and tomorrow. I'm hoping that coming out of the retreat we'll get some answers to some things. Because I hear Councillor Evans talk about the Christian market. We have to hold our breath where that one is concerned. But I speak some more about the market. But let me get the other two comments from Councillor Smith and Councillor Kennedy.
And just before, so I just want the record, on the record to say I support.
Yes, sir.
Normally, sir, when it comes to my party, I defend my party to the T. But Councillor Miller, along with the rest of council here,
yeah,
right, has not received 1 red cent. Not 1 red cent. Right? And when I go into my division, persons are not looking for me to send them to somebody else. They are looking for me to help them because they voted for me. Right? And I think it is very disrespectful at this particular time. When we're going through this time and when you go to the houses and see the conditions of people and you cannot help them. I feel hurt.
Thank you. Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you very much, Your Worship.
When I sat here and listened to you, Your Worship, I was wondering if I should bother to say my piece. Because on my paper here I have jotted down. The first thing I have is housing assistance. And I am very, very disappointed with the way that we have been treated as councillors. From burial last year up to now, we have not received a single penny from central government. A single dollar, not even like a red money, we have not received since burial. As I always said, that we are the first responders and we are on the ground. When people come, most of the time people don't ask for the member of parliament because you didn't see on a daily basis. It's us as councillors they relate to. And for them to say that they have $250,000 to give to each councillor. I just looked at the paper and saw where at the KMC in Kingston, only 17 of 40 councillors submit documents for the $250,000. And we know why now. It is frustrating, Mr. Miller, Councillor Miller. It is frustrating. It is frustrating because if you get $250,000, what you do with it? Most US. Because if we get that money, Your Worship, so for example, we're going to do some packages. And we say the packages cost, we're going to do a package for $8,000. It's 31 people that you have to use night and hide and give them the packages, you know? You will have to use night and hide to give out those packages because you will not have enough. You will not have enough to give out. And I am talking from experience. I went ahead and saw some things, Your Worship.
Yeah.
And I have to send a friend with a car to some people that were most needy, who were in dire need.
I have to send a message and say, don't tell nobody, say get it.
Yeah, I tell them, say, don't tell nobody.
Okay.
Don't tell nobody. Even the person I sent, I'm not even telling the person I'm sending, you know. Because it is frustrating. It is frustrating. 2 major disasters, and we have not received any money. And the people, them house stop blow off. I have about 10 complete house blow off, and I have 40 with partial damage. Bed went up, everything lost. What are we supposed to tell these people? It is frustrating. JPS, as most of the councillors relate, you have less structural damage, less light posts, less damages this time, and yet still the residents are taking a longer time to get back electricity. For you have in New Green, I'm employing to the JPS, New Green Primary School. They started operation Monday. It is unfair for the kids to be in school without electricity. We need to, and water, we need to tend to those. All right? I'd like to thank the non-government organizations who have supported so far, because Councillor Smith run for some help. So, Your Worship, please permit me 10 seconds to just highlight a few people. G Empire, Mr. Sutherland, MMC, Neuralinks Network, and Pauline. Thanks for your support, because when friends are few, the persons who assist us, we have to tell them thanks. But, Your Worship, we're appealing to relevant authorities. It's not only member of parliaments that represent. We were elected and voted for to represent. And it is unfair. It is unfair for every allocation to be going to the member of parliaments when we are the persons on the ground and the first responders.
Councillor. Please turn on the mic for me, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Of course, my heart go out and prayers go to those in, yes, Councillor Bryce, I pray. If you can pray, everybody else can pray. To the western parishes, and of course, condolences to the families who have suffered death. But the ground zero from Manchester would have been Mile Gully. Over 4,000 persons are being affected in some way, shape, or form. Councillor Miller, you know where we border. Councillor O'Neill, you know where we border. Right, in the Hibernia, the Waterloo, the Evertree, you know, roofs are completely. And of course, Councillor Knight over by Litchfield. The $250,000 that was granted, I can tell you, Your Worship, I spent mine already. And if the government don't want to pay it, I am pledging my month's salary for the month of November to go towards it. It is that bad in the Mile Gully division. I was on the road, MP and I was on the road from the Wednesday, and it's only one day we were off, and we went into every nook and cranny. And when you see some of the condition that some of these people are living in, believe me, you don't need to go to St. Elizabeth or Westmoreland to cry. You know, I was up all the way in Cowick Park, Antioch, and I saw a family. I saw a mother with her 3 children that was living from her car. And she had bedroom, bathroom in a little car, you know, and I mean, God is good. Because when I said to her, oh, you lost everything, she said, no, she still have life. And that brings soften my heart, you know. So it's really bad. It's really bad out there. And if there was any time in this country that we need to come together and put certain things aside, it would have been done. And I like all your speech, Councillor Miller, because, I mean, if there was any time for us to relax certain things, it would have been no, because it can't get worse than that in certain areas. The irony in the Evergreen and Comfort Hall area, for years they have been suffering for water, and now look how much water down there. You know, and you mentioned the building code, Your Worship. That is something that we really need to revisit. We need to look at where we build, how we build, and what we build. Because some of these areas, the resident will tell you that the water came up 10, 15 years ago, right? And they are still living there. You know, it is really bad in the Mile Gully division, especially the churches and the educational institution, the Mile Gully High School damage, and it's the only high school in Northwest Manchester, right? The Comfort Hall Primary School damage, most of the basic school, the early childhood education down in Comfort Hall, that one is total. The community center is total. And of course, my major concern now is for the children who are sitting at home, and you know, when you go out there, you see it at the face. What? And some of these children would have been affected by COVID, right? And now is the time for them to sit the CXC and all them things there. It is really bad. So I don't know if we can pay attention to the educational institution, right? They're really crying out for help, the churches. In terms of road, Super, I want to thank you for going through and you know, giving us permission to clear majority of these roads. The only one remain blocked now would have been the Mount Zion one by Duppy Church, where that bridge just caved in, right? I won't even make a plea for JPS to connect any light, because some of these houses don't have any roof on it. So it would even benefit the resident. But where we operate, the constituency office from the poor relief office that have been total. Your Worship, we have to do something about that so we can get the office up and running so we can continue to serve the people. Major concern now would be the continuous rising of the water in the Evergreen, Comfort Hall area. One thing we know that maybe on the horizon will be some of the health effect of some of these water. We see people going along and catching these water, and as we say, we don't know where it is coming from. You know, so I think maybe some sign or something need to be put up in these sides. The NWA, I must say, did an excellent job
yes, they did an excellent job in the Mile Gully area, clearing the main road, right? The garbage, piling up of garbage continue to be a concern now. I haven't seen any truck in the area since, and there are a lot of debris, both from the hurricane and other sources. But the condition in the division is not good, and however, I want to say thanks to Councillor Robinson and Councillor Smith for aiding me. You have provided over 80 packages, and of course, Councillor Robinson provided some warm meals, over 100 and odd, and I really appreciate that. And of course, to a family that came out all the way from St. Thomas with some packages, over 150 packages, and we went through the division and distributed. Private citizens have been coming on board, the church, even at the Mile Gully High School, the principal, all the food that he had in stock, he loaded it up, put it on the school bus, went around the areas and distributed. The police are on board. I don't say anything from the government. Right? And I think the government now, with all the aid that is coming in, the insurance money, need to come forward. The recovery process is going to be important. I know SDC have been in the area, but mainly on the main road. I have some little, ingress, egress off the main, and we are not reaching those persons. And that is where we as political representatives come in place now, because those persons are dependent on us, right? So there's no way you can separate those agencies from us, right? Because of the health condition, MP decided that come this Saturday, and of course, MP Michael Phillips will be hosting a health fair, Comfort Hall Primary School. And of course, we have volunteer and sponsors. And I just want to thank them from now in advance, because you know that the whole hurricane situation is a high stressful time. So I want to reach out to the residents, those that will be able to come out. Of course, the school is on board with the school bus to provide transportation, right? And we'll be testing pressures, sugars, and all those, condition, and see how best we can reach out. Also, meals will be provided, right? Colleagues, it is unprecedented. We have I don't know why Jamaica, the best and the worst happened to us. The first hurricane, category 5, to really struck land. Unfortunately, it is us, but of course we are a set of strong people. We just need to get it together. This is the time you don't see green or orange, right? And I hope that the leadership, the head of the country, will bear this in mind. If there was any other time that we really, really need to come together, it is now. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, one question.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. I know that we have the council have a staff living in Black River. We now have a condition. Can we know if she live in Black River, she don't have no house?
Well, she don't have no house.
Right. But I want to know if she's okay physically. I can't say mentally. I know. Yeah. I just want to know if she's okay.
All right. I want to ask the CEO to speak. I think Officer Lowe, you went to visit that member of staff. Could you just give us a little report? All right.
Her roof, her mother's roof is completely gone. So I think the Roads and Works sent down, and the CEO sent down tarpaulins and other materials. However, she was requesting that we help with water that they can use to bathe using the house. Otherwise, she's in good spirits, but she needs assistance in repairing her mother's house so that her and her children can be safe. And that's it.
Okay. Councillor Bryce, we're doing what we can to make sure, especially our staff members, Miss Blair got a little bit of damage, and even our car got damaged and all of that, but we have a listing of the members of staff who have been damaged, and we are going to see how best we can with whatever help we get to assist them. Yes, Councillor? I'm wrapping up now, you know.
Yes.
I'm wrapping up Melissa right now.
Thank you, Worship. I'm pleading to JPS to come and clear the pole, those wires in Marley Hill area. We have a lot of garbage packed high like this, but I know the truck cannot pass, so I'm appealing to them to come and clear the road. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councillors, I don't know what to say about JPS because right now I have a friend in the hospital because the person has to take insulin. For those who understand insulin with diabetes, and without electricity and not getting ice to buy, you know what will happen. And so the person has missed some bouts of taking insulin, and you know the sugar would have gone back to a place where it should not have gone, and so they end up in the hospital. And there are many more like that, right? So I don't know. I had to call JPS yesterday, Councillor Mitchell, and ask them to kind of look at the Long Hill for me, because we have the health center, we have the library, we have the high school with 1,300 picnic, and we have the primary school. And so I don't know how it is done, because where my house is in the right flat, my neighbor to the left has light, my neighbor to the right have light, the neighbor behind me have light, and I don't have no light. And I have a generator, but it costs me nearly $6,000 per day. It's dearer than the bill. Yeah, go ahead, Councillor.
Chair, I am really wondering if we're bashing JPS too much. And my reason for saying that, a couple of days before the election, the minister came public and said he will not be renewing the JPS contract. So I'm wondering if the contract has been renewed, or JPS are seen down the line where the contract will not be renewed, so they're dragging their foot and we are suffering. We need to find out what is really happening with the JPS and the government. I'm aware that they have laid off all their workers and are now using contractors. So we need to find out what is really happening.
Those are big stories. Councillors, if we keep talking, you know, we're going to leave out of here about 3 o'clock tonight. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
You mentioned the hospital, Mr. Chair.
Shh. Councillors.
The hospital, we know that
Turn the mic on for me.
I'd received some patient from the Black River Hospital. And a word on how those patients have been faring out.
Well, it's the wrong meeting, even though you have a board. Yeah, but we'll ask for, put it this way, Councillor Kennedy, whereas we have a member of the board from the Southern Regional Health Authority here, generally you don't speak on behalf of the board except you get permission to speak. So what we will ask for the follow-up, and we'll try to get some answers for the next meeting. But I hear Councillor Smith raise a matter about not seeing or not hearing from the Member of Parliament. Fortunately, or unfortunately, but more on the fortunate side, there are 4 PMP councillors in central Manchester. And the Member of Parliament has never taken up her phone to say, Councillor Mitchell, and you know, I want to separate this situation. Not even my capacity as chairman of the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center, of which all members of parliament are to report during hurricanes and all of that. She has not even taken up the phone to say, how is the parish or how is the constituency faring? Others have called. I've met with MP Bunting, I've spoken to Mikhail. I know Councillor Mitchell, I've spoken with the MP from Northeast. He was in a session with her and all of that. But the member of parliament for the town of Mandeville has not reached out to even ask questions about what is happening. I mean, as a PMP, and she's from another party, I mean, she has no obligation to share what she has with me. Fine. But out of respect, you could call your councillors to say, how are we faring or how are we not faring? That's a general thing. We are on the different political divide, but people's lives are people's lives, right? And there are people from that side who would call me, and people from my side would call me. I would simply have to tell them, call the member of parliament, because I can't do nothing. I can empathize. And the problem is that I have so much regular debts in in my division alone that I don't have time. I can't find the tears to cry and help the people then. I have debts still all in my family debt there, and I have to just look at what is happening and understand. But it can't be. There has to be where we put the political things aside and work for the betterment of this parish. We have to put the political thing aside. And Councillor Brown, if the member of parliament for South Manchester has not called you, I will call him and tell him that he has to call you. Right. All right. Because I know the member of parliament is not such of that person. Right. But I will call him and tell him to talk with you. Right, sir. All right, sir. The member of parliament assistant will make sure that he calls you, right? But councillors, as councillors, let us remain vigilant. I know it's discouraging, but let us remain vigilant, stay with our people. I know my people might be quarreling, so they don't see me, but they have to understand. I will go in and see them. But when you stay with them and they see you, the people will still love you no matter what. Right? Just stay with them. For the divisions that I have not yet gone to, but I've gone to most of the divisions. I have not been into Craighead division proper, because I just talk to Sue, but I can't do nothing about the roof, like looking at the roads and all of that, right? So when we go out, it's really roads we look at to make sure the roads, the parochial roads are cleared and all of that, because I can't do nothing else, right? I can't take no other decision, because even as the mayor, whatever each councillor was told that they will be getting, I'm getting the same thing, so I can't help nobody else. It doesn't make sense I give anybody not out of my little 250 when everybody get 250. I don't know. If I've seen it, then I will know. But we have to be vigilant and stay with the people. In terms of some activities, I just want to state for the records that the Christmas activities in terms of tree lighting, etc., will be scaled down. That will be tailed down. There are some things I will say, and I know we're not opening up a debate. I'm just saying it as it was said to us as mayors. There's no money, period. Hold on. No money, period. We're in the month of November, and we still haven't gotten the PRF for September. When we ask about Christmas, the minister says he will have that discussion at a later date. I don't know when is the later date. The only thing I've been promised is that we have some outstanding bills Officer Richards, and we have been promised that we'll get some money to try and clear some of those bills and to see what can happen. That's the only promise I've been made, right? The markets, when I raise the issue of the markets and what has been happening, I hear there's no money. But I want to tell you that the Mandeville Market meat section has been ordered closed by the Ministry of Health. We don't bring any money down there. It's food. We have to feed the people then. It's not much. So I am saying to the soup and the CEO at this time, soup is providing me with an estimate. The estimate is ready that we'll be taking $5 million from the emergency funds to get the market beef house up and running with immediate effect. Let me say why. If we don't have it up and running, people are going to be suffering because people rely on meat to run the restaurants, meat to go to the supermarkets, and as we get back electricity, the engine of economic activities must go on, right? Yesterday I met with the vendors, the wholesale vendors. I mean, they had called in the news media and they were talking and open noise, and even the market meat persons came down too. And so I just want to state for the records for the wholesale vendors, we have decided after listening to them that we will allow them to start selling at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday evening to 10 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. And I told them with no uncertain words that if they go over 10 a.m., I'm going to take note of who is not adhering to the thing, and they will stop selling there. Reason being, some of these sellers are from Trelawney, St. Elizabeth. They're from out of town, and things are bad with them. And so we need the engine. If we don't have the engine spinning, things will going to remain the same. So that's the time they're going to be using in the thing. There are some areas in the market that don't have electricity yet. We're trying to get it up and running. There's an old building in the market which was affected, and we have to go take down that building. It's an old building in the center of the market. We can look at what will happen with it the next time around. For Christmas, it is still uncertain, even though we had some discussions. It is still uncertain what will happen. But when the minister finishes cabinet, we will get some answers. The fact is that revenues are down. Revenues are down from left, right, and center. People not paying no property taxes. And so, yeah, man, I'm coming to that. It's 1 o'clock already? All right, please, go ahead. We'll take the motion. Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you, Your Worship. It's now after 1, and we need a motion to extend
the meeting beyond 1 o'clock.
The meeting beyond 1 o'clock.
He's moving the motion. I need a seconder.
I beg to second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, because when they finish here, we're going to be going full speed ahead. Eh? Okay. Hold on. I don't want to lose my train of thoughts. So for the property tax unit, I've written to the chairman of the Services Commission asking his permission to redeploy the property tax staff. What this means, the property tax staff can be out there issuing notices and taking people to court in hard times. So they are going to be asked to do different things. Of course, one is going to go to assist Keval downstairs. One will go to the PR section. Hopefully we can put somebody in accounts to help us with some backlog. There are some things that we need to be done. And there's a small team that will concentrate on identifying government and parish council entities or assets, land assets that we have. Hold on. Because I'd spoken to the minister that in the medium term, the government has to take a decision because the councils have so much land that we have to sell some of them to kickstart and make some capital investment to kickstart the economy. So we have to sell some land to fix up the market and the people them going to the market. Because the people are refusing to go in the market because the market is leaking. And it don't make sense to go into somewhere that is leaking and rain and fall, you can't do nothing. Right? So we're looking at all of that. But councillors, we're in hard times. Very hard times. And so one of the things that will affect us as councillors, we were told to cut back on the number of committee meetings that are held, or that has been held. I mean, we're in the month of November. Poor relief, finance, and general council must be held. We will look at the matters that need whatever from planning that can be done out of session will be done, but there are some things that will take to finance meeting for thing. The matter of the revenue enhancement thing, local board matters will go back to council for next month so that we can do, and it will go right up to the 31st of March, because we have to save every dollar we can so that, and it's the truth, Phil don't talk sometime. But when it comes to salaries, him will come over my office and say, Chairman, salaries need to be paid. And I don't want my staff to go on the media and tell the media say they don't get paid. So in order for everybody to get paid, we have to cut back on some things. Right? So we will cut back on some of the committee meetings. We will know which ones are cut back on and which one we will join just for up until the end of March, so that the engine of the council can carry forward. And may I say it from now, that come January, there will be no parks and beautification money. That money comes from property taxes. And if we're not collecting property taxes, how are we going to get the money? And whatever we get, we have to use it, as the minister said, to back up to pay some of the general things, so that come January, there will be no park, there will be no beautification money. Period. It's not negotiable. It's not negotiable, because you're not getting the money. If you don't get property taxes, you can't get the money. That's where you get it from. So as councillors, we first have to show the staff and the people that we care. Right? We will look, I don't know, right now we are in November, we don't get September money yet. And the money should come for Christmas or for the month of December, maybe next year, March, April. So we have to take some decision as a council that if we have to continue, we have to continue. Because at the end of the day, councillors, let us understand. And no, you can't dissolve the council. We don't have that authority. The minister has the responsibility to dissolve council, and some things have to happen. We have to be conscious of what is happening in the country, because whereas Manchester wasn't badly hit, St. Elizabeth don't have no parish council. They have to be trying to find some place to run their administration. The health people have said that nobody should go into the Hanover Parish Council because of mold and etc. and it will affect the people's health. So you have to find a building for that. St. James is lucky that they can use some sections. So whereas we have not been badly affected, the revenues of the country has been affected. And because the revenues have been affected, it come back to haunt us. And so we have to understand. So councillors, I'm just saying, let us hold straight. Let us do what we can do. Let us talk with our people. Let them understand. And they will understand. Trust me, they will understand. No matter what we try to see what can happen for Christmas, if it's $1. But for the time being, give me until another week to hear back from the minister and to see where we are. Right? I will advise you to still submit the programs that we had looked at, and I will have some dialogue with Phil and the CEO as to how we will do some things. But for the time being, faith without works is dead. We can have faith that we're going to get money, but we have to work towards getting the money. That's how it is done. All right? That's the matters on whatever, because we're not getting any trade license. That's the thing there. Well, go ahead, sir. Let me hear what you have to say.
You know, as I listen to you, and I listen to you loud, and I listen to you clear, and then the matter, as you say, come January. I am not in support of that, Mr. Chair. And the reason why I am not in support of that, as a councillor, property tax that you are speaking about, the corporation, this council, right, only get, I doubt if we get 10% of that property tax. So why should we in here give up our 10% of that property tax for the betterment of what? Where we want to
all right, yeah, let me
No,
but hold on, I am not defending it, you know, but I'm just saying something. If you're not collecting something, how you going to spend it? If you're not collecting, how you going to spend it?
And anything that we are collecting, whatever must come out must not come out of our 10%.
All right, I hear you, but this is not my decision. I'm just saying what is happening.
Mr. Chair.
Right. But councillors, we have to understand. It does make sense I tell you something and it don't happen. We have to understand the situation the country is in, you know. Because I will tell you, in the discussions, one of the things that came up in the meeting is that we might have to lay off people nationally. That came up in the meeting, so we have to learn to understand that people have to survive.
Mr. Chair.
All of this money.
Mr. Chair, just give me a little ears.
And hold on, Councillor Bryce, let me just say this.
Yes.
Councillor Elephant first, Councillor Bryce. Let me take Councillor Elephant.
It's hard that we are asked all the while to make sacrifices. Right? And it's not fair for us to be at that end all the time. Right? Before, even as the hurricane blow, all the MP them get their money and them go and do a whole heap of things. Up to now, we don't see nothing for help our people. It's not fair. And in addition to that, they have taken out insurances, different type of insurance, and we know the clauses that go within insurance. So that shouldn't affect us badly. Let us say, even if they're going to use an average class to say, we have so much million in insurance, but our damage was 10%. You understand? So we know that it would be equivalent to what we can get. But we do all of these things to protect our revenue. And I think that the time has now come when we as councillors need to see us, cover us properly. Right? A question I have to ask you. I know that the infirmary has been in deficit. And now we have additional. Are they going to provide us with those funds that we can clear that deficit and carry the rest of the people?
In terms of the infirmary, I've asked the person in charge of finance to tell us what it is for the infirmary so that I can send that submission to the ministry for them to fund the infirmary. Right? But councillors, we have got to understand. Yes, the insurance is 150 million US. One of them I know of, right? The government has stated preliminary that it will cost $2.5 trillion to get us back to some semblance of what it is. I'm not the economist of this country. I only look at the figures when they speak. And no matter what help we're getting, it can't add up to 2.3 trillion yet, right? If ordinarily what we collect in revenue here, when we calculate it out, you are left with $10 billion a year, that money that you can use for whatever recovery. You look at $10 billion for 2026, let's say, but you have to find $2.5 trillion and to say how long it will take you to get out of the rut. Something has to pay for something, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that all I've said will go exactly as I've said. I am asking us to prepare our minds that if the worst should happen, it is not frightening to us. But at the end of the day, there are families, there are situations, and government is not one parish. It's the entire Jamaica. It is Jamaica, it is not Manchester, it is not St. Elizabeth, it is one parish. So what affects one will affect all. And so we're asking you to prepare your minds.
Okay, so, such a we are colleague, but
You hear from me? No, I come in to look for you.
Happy New Year. So, if anything, you let me know.
Mr. Chair. We have to prepare our minds for what will come. It does make sense we are optimistic and say we're going to get monies, and at the end of the day we hear we don't get no money. We're optimistic about the 500,000, you know. I have to find another way to pay for my bills even though I don't talk. But that's what happened. You were told to get in. And so I had to find another way. I had to beg friends money and all of that to pay my bill. So we have to understand it is a situation. And what affects one will affect all. Because right now I get a text from a cousin of mine in Westmoreland. I never remember them in at all. And them not have no house. Well, I don't know. I am not an MP. I can only speak from my position as a councillor. Because they're going to tell us that central government belongs to MPs and local government belongs to local government. So that is why I keep saying the cabinet is retreating today and tomorrow. When the minister rises from cabinet, he says he will call us in again as mayors and to tell us our position. But from where I sit as the mayor, I am asking us to prepare ourselves mentally for what might happen. That's all I'm saying.
Mr. Chair, I hear you and I listen to you. And I understand the pain and I understand everything. But I don't want the minister come take with you no idiot, you know. Don't want the minister take with you no idiot. If we have to cut the parks and market money and we have to cut it, we have to cut it. But first the minister have to make sure saying cut the friend them a solid waste first. And that's how the parks and market money go. And he have to make sure say the JPS so he pay the money out of the parks and market money, out of the property tax money. You go to and see with street light now work where you waste and pay JPS the money for. Yes. All of the money they are going to waste. Cut your friend them a solid waste before you come talk about you cut anything for we. The money was there, they waste it. I waste it. They buy some old bus school bus where I run up and empty. I waste the money. They don't come tell we not like nobody like that. We are set for them in the mind you think you done. Oh my, you know, me don't want the minister come roll up the mouth like nobody afraid of him and tell we no nonsense. So, you know, everybody has suffer. Everybody. Manchester has suffer. But me understand St. Elizabeth, so I suffer worse. Me understand all of that. So me sit down and me just say to Wilson where fall the man for Sporty who line house that blow off a tree tapal me could have give him and he couldn't cover it. As the rain fall, you know. So I don't want the minister call on him as me and chicken. You know. When he run up him out, he's supposed to can back it. Because he run up him out. So I don't want him to take nobody if you know idiot. And then with all that, sir, I have to pick up my daughter at one.
But may I tell you, we want to finish the agenda. Councillor Smith, last word on the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
If it needs that, we have to meet again privately as councillors to have some discussions. I'm prepared for that.
What is it that we as councillors who were voted for, we were elected, what is it that we tell our people?
The truth.
What is it? And I'd really like to know, and it's sad, so we have to ask this now, but based on all that is happening, have our job description changed to only attend funerals and set up, because there's nothing else we can do for the people right now. There's absolutely nothing else we can do for the people right now. Everything they come to ask, we don't have it to give. We don't have it to give. No. So you're taking away the 1 foot man crutch. How are you going to move? How are you going to survive? Come on, man, we have to do better as a people, as a country. We have to do better.
I've listened. We will talk. That's all I will say. We'll talk. As councillors, we will talk. I will call you. Not all councillors, because whatever is going to happen is going to affect every single person. Right? Eh? It will affect everybody. It will affect everybody. I want to thank you for the deliberations, because I know some of you had some things you have to get off your stomach and all of that. Item 7, announcements. We have any announcements? If we don't have any, we don't have any. All the announcements have taken place. Right? Accounts. So this. Phil, can you present this also first?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, I have here the collection for property tax trade license for the month of October 2025. Total collection $34,205,095.80. In comparison to October 2024, that time would have collected for the month $68,060,321.01. So at this point in the financial year, we would have collected $576,684,958.75. We would have, at the end of October, collected 71% of the target. The THA was experiencing some problems with their system. I've yet to receive the figures for the trade license. So Chairman, I have here the resolution in regards to the corporations banking.
All right, before you get there, I don't want to. I just want us to be clear on something. So, in comparing last financial year, October, with this financial year, we have collected about 25 million or something like that less. That's what it's saying, right? In real terms, decrease, 50% decrease. So we understand what you understand what I'm saying, councillor? Sorry, you understand? So if your revenues are down 50%, things can't be the same. And that's before the storm. Go ahead now for me.
Okay, the resolutions have two. First one is be it resolved that with effect from 15th of October 2025, the following councillors and officers of the Manchester Municipal Corporation be and are authorized to countersign all checks and other instruments related to the operation of the corporation's current and other accounts at Jamaica Money Market Brokers Limited, Mandeville, Bank of Nova Scotia Limited, Mandeville, and National Commercial Bank, Mandeville. Be it further resolved that all previous authorities and arrangements be and hereby cancelled with effect from the date thereof. Right? We have no signatories, the Councillor Donovan Mitchell, Chairman, Councillor Rowan Kennedy, Vice Chair, Mr. Moy Sinclair, Acting Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Philroy Richards, Chief Financial Officer, and Mrs. Tracy and Alison Brown, Senior Management Accountant.
All right.
Next is, so this would take care of all our general accounts.
Okay.
This one is for the Inspector of Poor account. Said, whereas the transfer of the former Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Andrew Harrison, and whereas there is a new acting Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Moy Sinclair, in place, and whereas the Manchester Municipal Corporation, by affirmation resolution in accordance with Section 16, subsection 4A and B of the Local Governance, Financing and Financial Management Act 2016, is authorized to select members of council and senior employees to approve payments. Be it resolved that at the regular monthly meeting of the Municipal Corporation held on November 13, 2025, the following officers are authorized to countersign all checks and other forms of payment for the MP Inspector of Poor account. Be it further resolved that all previous authorities and arrangements be and are hereby cancelled with effect from the date thereof. And we have for Group A Administration, Tomoy Sinclair, Acting Chief Executive Officer, Angela Wright, Inspector of Poor, Judith Thompson, Deputy Inspector of Poor. And Group B Accounts, Philroy Richards, Chief Financial Officer, and Tracy and Alison Brown, Senior Management Accountant.
So that one will take up the impress and all of that. So for the poor relief officers, okay.
So we need a...
May I have a motion, please?
Move on a second.
Move on second.
I so move.
Moved by Omar and seconded by 3 councillors. I don't know which one we'll take. I'll take the lady. All in favor? Any against? Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Correspondence? All right. With other municipal corporations, other sources, report from ALGA. Have we all received the ALGA report?
Through you, Chairman, the ALGA J report has been circulated to all councillors.
All right. Please get them and get it and read it. I have some concern, but I'm not ready yet for it. Departmental. Councillor Moran Baker and Councillor Smith, you know, I am seriously contemplating my next move. I'm seriously contemplating it. All right? Confirmation of committee minutes. And they're listed there. May I have a motion? Moved by Councillor Wilson, seconded by Councillor Omar Robinson. Matters referred from committees. And their recommendation of affixing the council seal to approve subdivision applications. Do we have any?
Yes, sir. Yes, Chairman. All right. So be resolved that the common seal of the Manchester Municipal Corporation be affixed to the subdivision plans. There are 10 of them. Part of George North for Garfield Harriet et al. Part of Allison for O'Brien Thomas, part of Restore for Horace Myers et al., part of Cocoa Walk, Lot 52 for Norman Reed, care of Norma Cole, part of Retreat for Caudell Butler and Andrea Groves, part of Patrick Town for O'Neill Turner, part of Coffee Grove for Stafford Watt, part of Old England for Zelfa Powell, part of Waltham for Ronald Williams, and part of Marlborough, I said it right, for Donwell Lawrence.
Okay, motion. O'Neill Evans, seconded by Councillor Ryan Peart. Questions? I think we have asked all the questions we need to ask. No, sorry. Recommendation of issuance of certificate of completion. Do we have any?
Yes. Mr. Chairman, we have 4.
Okay.
We have part of Newark, Manchester for Lloyd Dawes. Lot 2 Dalkeith, part of Knockpatrick, Manchester for Coretta Thompson. Part of Knockpatrick, Manchester for Linclaud Agro and Transportation Services Limited. And finally, part of Mount Gerizim for Winston and Delita Campbell.
All right. Motion. Evans, move, seconded by Robinson, Omar. All in favor? Any against? Any abstentions? Questions? I think we have all gone through all the questions. Petitions? Writing none. Motions? Notices of motion? None. We're at item 18. With all that have been said and done, Councillor Omar Robinson, can you, today's his birthday? Okay. So councillors, may we, before he prays on his birthday, wish for you, sir, all the best on your birthday today. Actually, there's also another member of staff birthday today. Is Robert's birthday? Okay, okay, so let us, on the record, we have Cordell Layden, Robert Barrett, Omar Robinson, Councillor. Who else is it? All right, birthday, they're celebrating birthdays today. Let us wish for them the best of health, long life, and may you live until you die. With that said, sir, we ask that you pray for us.
Let us pray. This is a day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. As we come to the end of another meeting, Lord, help each and every one of us here to act mature in the decisions that we would have made. Help each and every one of us here to move forward and to try and impact lives as much as possible. You know the resources are not where we would want them to be, but Lord, through you, things will happen. Through you, Lord, we still have hope, we still have faith, and we will continue to represent the people to the best of our abilities. At this time, I want you to touch each and every one of us support staff, our family members, those who are healing, those who are in pain, those who are recovering, Lord. Help them to be of full strength. Help them to be the best version of themselves. Through you, Lord, I ask all of these and many more, and I say thanks. In your name, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, members, councillors, officers from various agencies. We have, I think it's my longest meeting I've ever presided over. It's my longest meeting. But I want to thank you. I think we have gotten some things off our minds. We have looked at some things that we need to look at, and the work continues. At the end of the day, as I said before, if we reason with our people will understand. Our people are not hard to reason with, but let us tell them the truth. The truth sometimes pains, but at the end of the day, people will understand. With that said, let me thank you for your time and your patience. And the motion is in order for the adjournment.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Carl Smith, second by Councillor Wilson. All in favor? All right. Meeting now stands adjourned until the second Thursday of December.